Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms. Happy 2021 before I forget to tell everybody. I hope that you all had a happy new year. And today's reading is what will your next first date be like? So it's geared towards single people if you're wanting to know kind of what your next first date is going to be like, where it will lead, if it's going to be a relationship or just be a really fun date or that kind of thing. I do want to remind everybody before we get started that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody and every message might not be meant for you, so that's fine. Just take what resonates for your situation and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can see when I've posted new content and it really does help the channel. And thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed. So we have 4 piles here today, and each one is representative of a different winter date, since it's winter where I am in the northern hemisphere. So I did kind of 4 different winter themed dates. Pile 1 is the envelope, so that represents the coffee and conversation date. So where you're drinking coffee, tea, hot chocolate, just some sort of hot drink, and really getting to know each other. Pile 2 is the acorn, so that represents a hike or a nature walk or something to that effect, something active outside. Pile 3 is the boot, and that represents an ice skating date, so if you're doing some kind of winter sport. And then pile 4 is the camera, so that represents a movie date, so whether that's a movie marathon at home or going out to the theater to see something, just either let your intuition guide you to a pile, visually, if you take a deep breath and just kind of let your eyes drift to something, or you can choose which date sounds like you would enjoy it the most. Those are a couple different ways that you can pick your pile. I'm going to put timestamps in the description and in the comments below, and we're going to get started now with pile number 1. Hi group 1, so if you chose the envelope, which is the coffee and conversation date, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out what your next first date will be like. So for your tarot, you have 5 of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, and Temperance. So maybe some of you have gone through a breakup or kind of a dry spell for a long time, because with this 5 of Pentacles, I feel like you've felt kind of left out in the cold and you haven't had the chance to date. So maybe that's just because of the past year's circumstances, but there's something that's kept you from dating or that's made you feel kind of down on your luck regarding dating. But with the Ace of Wands and Ace of Cups, those are very much new energy, new sparks, because the Ace of Wands is very much new passion and excitement about something new, and then the Ace of Cups is new love, new kind of overflowing emotions and that kind of thing. And then with Temperance, I feel like you're just kind of very go with the flow right now. You're not really expecting anything. You're wanting things to just kind of turn out well, but you're not pushing as hard for things to move along at a faster speed or anything. You're not trying to kind of lock somebody down before you really get to know them or anything. You're just trying to take things as they come and kind of stay in balance. So that's a really good energy to be in. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have travel. So this might be somebody that you're at a distance from. Maybe this is somebody that you will meet online or something, and you're farther from them. You have to meet halfway between you, or maybe this is somebody that maybe you want to go on a trip with them. Maybe you know them already and you just want to kind of get away, take a weekend vacation somewhere or something like that. But I feel like there's definitely some travel involved. And this particular travel card makes me think a little bit of the 6 of Swords as well, which has to do with moving on from a tumultuous, difficult situation, onto calmer waters. So I feel like that's kind of the energy you're in right now, is wanting to move on from maybe past toxic situations or feeling bitter about the way that your life has turned out and moving into a better period of time. You have starting fresh, a wonderful new beginning is blossoming in my life. So yeah, this is definitely a new beginning. So if this is with someone that you've known already, you're definitely embarking on like a new kind of era of your friendship or relationship, or this could just be like a brand new person for many of you. I feel like a lot of you, this is going to be a brand new person just because of those two aces there. But I feel like this is definitely a fresh start. You're ready for something new. You want to kind of just see what's out there. You're taking on kind of a new energy, a new mindset, and you're just ready for what is coming next. You have smooth and easy, number 28. So, yeah, I think this is going to be like a pretty good new, like fresh first step into your future. So I feel like it might be a date that's like easy, that just the conversation flows. It's just, there's not a lot of pressure on it. You're not stressed about it. You're just going to kind of take it as it comes. And I feel like that has a lot to do with your mindset as well. So just taking things as they come, that kind of temperance energy is very like frequent throughout these cards. So I feel like you're definitely ready to just take things as they come, not really put too much pressure on it or expect too much out of it, and you're just wanting to kind of see what's out there. It's very much kind of an exploration phase. You have Dragon's Lair, number 19, and you also have Flying, number 20. So I feel like maybe you have been in toxic situations in the past and you're maybe worried about kind of repeating those mistakes, so you're protecting yourself right now. But just beware of being too closed off, because you do have to open up and be a little bit vulnerable to allow like love and relationships in, because nobody really wants to talk to someone who's closed off, because then that tends to make other people close off, and then if you're both closed off, there's like nothing to connect you anymore. So you might have to just kind of take down your walls a little bit, test the waters, put one toe in the water, see how things go. Don't put too much pressure on it, which I think you're going to be very good at, but just understanding that protecting yourself too much might close yourself off to new opportunities. And then Flying to me has to do with like taking like a higher perspective on everything, seeing things kind of objectively, not expecting too much. But I feel like you're going to be feeling very light and airy as well. That kind of goes with that smooth and easy energy. Just like, again, no pressure, just seeing where things go, having fun. I feel like you want to just have somebody to do stuff with, have fun, have a laugh, just something kind of interesting, just taking those first steps into a new scenario, like kind of just seeing what could happen. And I feel like you're just interested in seeing what might happen, not really expecting a relationship or anything out of it. But I do feel like for many of you, this is because you've been in a long-term relationship before, or you've had like a string of difficult experiences in the past regarding dating, and now you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to put pressure on it. I just want to kind of see what's out there and not be like investing too much too early. You have Community, number 7. So this might be somebody that you know already. This might be maybe someone in your friend group, or like a friend might hook you up with them. I feel like most likely I'm getting kind of two energies, because we have the travel and community. So I feel like this might be someone kind of like close by, like a neighbor or something, and you might want to kind of get away with them so that you're not in your current environment just feeling like it's stale and stuff you do every day, but you want to kind of try something new, go on a new adventure with them. But I do feel like many of you might also be asking like friends for advice regarding this, like seeing what you think you should be doing, if you should take a chance on this person, and that kind of thing. So just trust those people around you to give you some good advice, because I feel like they might have some good insights for you. You have Strictly Sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. And I feel like this speaks of kind of what you're looking for. Not necessarily that you're only looking for a sexual relationship, but that you just want something fun and like exciting, but you're not really looking for like the one or anything long term. You're not really wanting to just settle down into a relationship. You just want something fun to kind of get you back into the swing of things. Just see what's out there and just do something. Yeah, just the word fun keeps coming up. Just something that's very light and like not stressful. You want it to be more stress relief rather than adding stress to your life. You have Take a Chance. So yeah, I feel like you're just wanting to take a chance on someone new, take a chance maybe on someone that you know already, but just get into something new. You can't like you can't see what's out there if you don't get out there and see what's out there. You know what I mean? Like, you have to actually get in there and try to see what's out there. You can't guarantee that things will or won't work out without getting in there and just experiencing it for yourself. And I feel like that's the energy that you're very much in, is just ready to take a chance, just get back in the game and like get ready to just accept whatever comes your way. And then you have Azalea, which says temperance, find balance, and be centered. So yeah, very much a lot of temperance energy here. So yeah, you're very go with the flow. You want to stay balanced. You might be the type of person to kind of overinvest in a relationship early on, and you're really trying to avoid doing that right now. I feel like you want to make sure that you're just in it to see what's out there, experience some new things, but you're not really ready to just jump in and like be in a relationship per se. You want to just date without all the attached kind of meaning and stress and pressure added to it. So yeah, I feel like you're in a really good energy to date. And then for your personality cards, so these are just like energies that you might be taking on, that the other person might be taking on. It could be what their personality is like. It could describe you, but they're just some aspects that might be coming out in this first date, or kind of surrounding this first date, or regarding the person that you're going on this first date with. So you have the Heart Collector, number 76. So that to me talks of somebody very charismatic. It's kind of Knight of Cups energy, so kind of romantic. Like the Bard is kind of the energy I'm getting, you know, somebody very artistic, poetic, kind of romantic, but you just kind of enthrall a crowd. So there might be somebody like you, this might describe you or the other person, or just kind of the aspect that's coming forward, but it could be that you are just wanting to, or like this person might be wanting to just kind of grab your attention and hold it and like really get you to like them. Like I feel like this is the type of person who wants to be liked and really kind of have control over a crowd, because I'm really drawn to this like love potion or whatever this is here that's kind of like letting off some fumes here. So I feel like, yeah, this is just someone who wants to kind of enthrall a crowd or enthrall the people that they're talking to. They really want the attention, and they're going to like share their feelings with the other person, but they might be doing it for the wrong reasons. So maybe that's something that you're wary of. You're trying to watch out for that. Or maybe you're just kind of going out and wanting to see if you've still got it. You know, you want to see if the other person is just into you, or wanting to like hear more from you. You know, maybe you're seeing what kind of charisma you still have about you. And then you have the Dogmatist, number 68. So this to me is very much like the my way or the highway kind of person, and not just in a way of like demanding that you pay attention to their way of doing things or do things their way, but in that they can't see why anybody else would think differently. So maybe this just comes up on the date that someone, like one of you wants to do things a certain way and the other one's kind of resistant to it. And so maybe one person is like kind of leading this date a little more, but maybe this, what I'm more getting is that this is like what you've dealt with in the past, is people who are maybe very charismatic at the beginning, very loving, you know, kind of love bombing you, but then they end up wanting control over your entire life. So I feel like maybe that's something that you're just trying to kind of keep out, like an eye for the red flags or something. So yeah, that might be something that you're just kind of wary of, is that kind of demanding, controlling energy. So just beware that that might come up, or you might be kind of trying to look into every interaction with this person to see if there's any of that coming up. But just go with the flow again. Like, I think if you just kind of let things happen as they will, just be very easygoing, and like kind of keep yourself in balance where you're not investing too much, but you're also not too closed off. I think that that will help you know if this is a person you want to continue to date or interact with, or if this is someone that you're not interested in. So just kind of keep rebalancing, you know, stay in that temperance energy. So I'm going to get your charms now. So we are using the heart to figure out what's in the heart of this situation. And I'm going to get that cat hair out of there. So yeah, group 1 what will your next first date be like? Okay. So in the hearts, we have Pegasus. So that has to do with healing energy is one thing that's kind of coming in. So yeah, that might have to do with the fact that you're healing from past relationships, past toxic energies and interactions with people. But this also has to do with creativity. So maybe that kind of creative spark is coming in, or just the artisticness is kind of coming into play. Maybe you're going to go on a date with an artist or do something kind of creative, like do one of those kind of paint and drink type of situations, or like just do something a little bit more creative, figure out how to, maybe you're going to do like a Mad Lib or like write a poem kind of thing, just something goofy like that. But this also makes me think of the, where is that? The flying card here. Because this, I think, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a Pegasus, but it looks very similar. So that could have to do with that kind of higher perspective and just taking things easy, just being very go with the flow again, and just making sure that you're staying objective about this and not getting too much emotion involved too early. So we've got hug here. So I feel like this might be a date that goes well, but maybe you're not sure at the end of it if you really want to pursue something romantic with this person. It's just kind of like a not only platonic energy, but it's very like cool still. You're not getting like hot and heavy immediately or anything like that. It's just fun, somebody to do stuff with, not super invested immediately, but you do have XOXO as well. So I feel like you're going to like this person. There's going to be love there, but it's not necessarily going to be like a love at first sight, immediate passion kind of situation. There's going to be a spark for sure, but it's not going to just burn up immediately. And you have wish and lucky here. So I feel like, yeah, this might be something that you've been kind of hoping for. You're going to feel lucky that you ended up going on this with this person, or you're just feeling good. There's just a lot of positive energy here. It's very light, kind of fairy energy, if that makes sense. So just very joyful and kind of childlike in some ways, where you're just excited, looking forward to things, not necessarily putting too much like commitment into the situation, into the mix right away. And you have sing. So that kind of goes with that creative energy that I was feeling with the Pegasus. So maybe you're going to do like a karaoke night or something, or you're going to bond over your music tastes, or maybe you were both like in choir or in like a school musical when you were young, or, something like that. But I feel like that might be something that you bond over. You have way to go. So that's talking about like not being sure what route to take, which is the correct way forward. So I feel like maybe you're seeing a couple different paths you could go down, either just in dating in general or with this person specifically, and you're just kind of like go with the flow, like, hey, I don't know which way to go, but I'm good with that. I'm just going to kind of see what's out there. So I feel like you really are exploring all your options, seeing what path you really want to go down. You have Capricorn. So one of you two might be a Capricorn, and it also says ambitious on the back. So maybe this person that you meet is going to be very ambitious. Maybe they bring out a more ambitious side of you. But yeah, there's a lot of like peace and joy here, because we've got the kind of Japanese landscape. So that has to do with serenity and just calm, peace, beauty, like kind of natural beauty as well, and just feeling very zen and kind of at peace with the world. And then you have the dragonfly in kind of the bubble here. So that makes me think of just like keeping your bubble of joy around you and like keeping yourself protected, but not in like a closed off way, but just making sure that nobody else's energy kind of invades your space too much. So I feel like you're in that really great energy where you're kind of hanging on to your joy and you're not letting anybody else bring you down. You're not allowing that toxicity in there. You have the rooster crowing. So you might be like getting somebody kind of trying to get in your face and like really say that they like you, or it might be a surprise when you meet this person. Maybe you'll run into them or something, but that's just like a symbol of getting someone's attention, like really doing something kind of loud to get someone's attention. You have the bottle opener. So you might be you might have been holding back a lot of emotions for a long time, and now you're kind of ready to start opening up again. And yeah, that's really what I felt with that Five of Pentacles, is that you've been kind of closed off for a while. You felt very like left out in the cold, and now you're ready to just kind of get back out there, see what's there, open up to someone again. And then you have the Butterfly. So I feel like you've gone through quite a transformation, especially over the past year is really what I'm wanting to focus on. So maybe you broke up with someone maybe during the quarantine. Maybe that's kind of what split you up. And now you're kind of ready to re-embark on something new again. You have the mushroom here. So that just speaks of like kind of beauty growing out of the darkness, you know, something growing even when it seems like nothing can grow. So maybe this past year has been good for you, even though it was hard to get through. Maybe you feel like you're in a much better spot, partly because of the difficulties that you went through, and that's kind of allowing you to open up to something new. And then you've got the little diamond here. So that makes me think of like a diamond in the rough, if anyone's seen like Aladdin. Just like not knowing where you might find somebody who you might really click with, you know, even if it seems like someone might not be your type or something, you're kind of open to that anyway. You know, you want to just kind of see what's out there, see where it could go, and just that energy of like openness and staying balanced is really coming up a lot. So group one, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group two. So if you chose the acorn, which is the like nature walk or hiking date, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out what your next first date will be like. For your tarot, you have Four of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, and Four of Swords. So I feel like you've felt maybe very closed off for a while. With that Four of Pentacles, I feel like you might be the type to kind of bottle up or store up your emotions and not really open up for a while. But I feel like you have maybe like an ideal relationship kind of in your head. Maybe you're trying to manifest that, but that's something that you've just kind of had at least in the back of your mind for a while. Because notice in this particular card, he's got like a picture of a car back here that he's probably saving up for. So I feel like you're maybe saving up your emotions and kind of your hopes and dreams for a particular kind of relationship. Because with this Eight of Cups, you might have left behind an old relationship or just a lifestyle that you no longer want to live, in the hopes that you'll find maybe this ideal relationship or something even better possibly. And with this Four of Swords, I feel like maybe you've been in the period of time for a while where you just needed to kind of relax and recharge. And I feel like maybe this is something that you want to do for yourself to kind of help you recharge in a way. So maybe like going out on a date is something that you feel like is going to kind of refresh your energy. Especially you might be like an extrovert where this past year you haven't been able to see people as often, and going out on a date might kind of help you like re-enter the world and really kind of charge you up to get excited for what's coming in the future. But let's see what your oracle cards have to say. You have protection. So yeah, that's definitely that energy of maybe protecting your feelings, not really showing them to other people, but also with this date coming up, maybe you're going to feel very protected. This other person might feel very protective of you because I feel like they see you as somebody very nurturing and loving and worthy of protection. And just very light, because you see that she's got all this light around her kind of like heart chakra here. So I feel like they might just see you as somebody just purely made of love, and they want to kind of protect you from whatever bad things there are in the world, and they feel like you're worth investing in and kind of just keeping safe. You have launching your journey. I am an intrepid traveler sailing forth into the universe. So yeah, I think you're ready for whatever new adventures are out there. That's very much that energy of leaving behind what doesn't serve you with that Eight of Cups, and now finding something new. You know, you're not really sure what's out there, but you're excited about it because you could see so many amazing possibilities, and that's what you're hoping is going to come your way. This also, again, might be something that could launch maybe a long-term relationship, because we've got this protective energy here, and now we have this launching your journey. So I feel like I could see this maybe being a long road ahead. Maybe this date could turn into something more, maybe it's going to kind of start a longer term relationship, or it's just going to start you on like a really good new endeavor in your life. You have just say no, number 51. And so since this is spelled like knowing, like to know something, relating to like knowledge, I feel like this card has to do with just an inner knowing, like if this person is maybe has some long-term potential, I feel like you're going to know that in your gut, like right away. Like I feel like this is going to be something where you just have an inkling about what this could be. So whether that's that this is a possible long-term relationship for you, or that this is not the right one, you want to move on so that you can find the right one. I feel like this is saying listen to your gut instinct, because it definitely knows kind of what potential there is or is not in this situation. You have rescue, number 16. So yeah, I feel like, again, this is more kind of protectiveness energy. Like we had that protection card there. So I feel like this person might kind of see you as a bit vulnerable, and they want to protect you and kind of rush in and save you. This might be the type of person who like wants to be like your knight in shining armor. They want to be the hero. They want to take care of you, protect you, and make sure that nothing bad happens to you. So I feel like on this date in particular, you might be taking maybe a more like passive role in this, and this person's really the one who's like driving it forward. They're the driving force, and they're like the one to show their intentions and their feelings right away, but you're kind of holding back still because you're not really sure. But I feel like this is all kind of saying listen to your gut instinct, because even if you feel like your mind is not sure, I think in your gut if this is or is not the right kind of situation for you. So just trust that feeling. But I think this person definitely has good intentions. You have door to spirit, number 32. So yeah, you definitely have kind of a spiritual inkling about this situation. I feel like this is, maybe it's going to kind of crack open your intuition a little bit too, where you're a little more open to kind of spiritual guidance regarding this. But this can also just symbolize like a new beginning, a new era of your life where you feel like you're a little more in line with like what your soul feels like it needs or it wants. So I feel like this is definitely like you're embarking on a much better period of time. So if this date doesn't go anywhere, it's going to lead you somewhere that's going to go somewhere farther. But I do feel like for most of you, this is something that could be a potential long-term relationship, that could really like go the distance. You have vulnerability. You can be completely open with this person. So yeah, I feel like many of you are terrified of being vulnerable, and I think this person sees you as a little bit vulnerable even if you're holding back, and I think they can tell why you're protecting yourself and why you're holding back, but they want to make sure that you know that you're safe and that you are cared for, and that they want you to know that you can be vulnerable with them. So I feel like maybe that's something that they'll be kind of not like prodding at you to get you to open up, but they might say something like, hey, just so you know, you're safe with me. You don't have to open up if you don't want to, but I'm here if you need someone to talk to, or like I'm willing to listen. I won't judge you, that kind of thing. So just know that I think this person has really good intentions, and this is telling you that it's safe to be open with this person. But just trust your gut instinct above all else. I'm not going to tell you to trust somebody if they're, obviously like abusive or manipulative or something, but I think most of you have a really good instinct to you. So just trust that, because you know better than anybody else. You have one date. So I feel like maybe this is somebody that initially you would not have gone on a date with, or like this could be like someone from your past that kind of wants another chance with you, and so you've already got that kind of rapport already, but you're a little skeptical of letting them back in or something if they broke your heart in the past. But this is saying just give it a date. That's all you have to do is just give it one date and see where it goes. But I feel like for many of you, this is going to turn into something more. For some of you, it might end at one date, but I feel like maybe this person will even say, just give me one date. One date is all I need to change your mind. Just give me that. So just that might resonate with some of you, that somebody might actually say those words, like, give me one date. That's all I need. And then you have wisteria, longevity. Plan for and take the dedicated path. So yeah, this is definitely emphasizing that this could be a long-lasting relationship for many of you. This has potential to turn into something even lifelong, but this is definitely something that you've got maybe a foundation already, or you're building a foundation, but this has that kind of long-lasting potential to it. And then for your personality card, so these cards might emphasize like an aspect of your personality that comes out on the date. They might describe the other person, or it might just be the energy that kind of comes up on this date. But we're just going to kind of see what comes up. So you do have the rekindled number 53. So this could be like an actual rekindled relationship, but from this card, because of what's on it, I feel like this is more kind of rekindling like your lust for life, your appreciation of yourself, because notice she's looking in a mirror and it's kind of looks like she's like maybe judging herself, like, oh, I look like crap, I've been crying for days, you know, I've had so much wine, like it's just I feel dusty and like I haven't been out there in a long time. But she's got this kind of glow around her heart chakra again, so there's kind of that repeated heart chakra energy here. So I feel like you've got that heart chakra kind of getting cracked open, it's opening up. So I think you're rekindling your excitement, or like your kind of openness to something coming in that might be right for you. You know, with if you've walked away from something that wasn't right and maybe you've been feeling like nothing will be right for you, and now I think your heart and your gut instinct are like, you know what, this could be something that has potential, you know, just open up, see what happens. You've got, you know, so much to you that there has to be somebody else out there for you. Just give it a chance. You know, I feel like there's a lot of energy here of giving it a chance, because you might be very pleasantly surprised about what comes up, because I feel like there definitely is this potential for something long term. But overall, this is just a really like kind of self-care, like recharging energy to this, you know, that you're able to be vulnerable, you can open up, and that vulnerability card goes with those heart chakra cards as well, that you can just be open with somebody, you know, you don't have to stay closed off and protected forever. You can protect yourself when you need to, but just don't be afraid to open up, or to, at the very least, explore how you're feeling as things go. But I want to get your charms now for some more information, and we are going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So, sorry, I'm trying to pick up a couple of charms that kind of fell out of the bowl when I put it down after the last group. But group 2, what will your next first date be like? Okay, so there's nothing in the heart, so that's almost kind of making me think of that heart chakra, you know, it's opening up, you know, you're just kind of clearing out some space for something new, but I'm going to get that out of the way since nothing landed in there. You've got a couple of initials here, so you have O and G, so like the OG something might kind of resonate with you. They could be initials, but I'm also seeing just the word go, and go time actually is popping up. So yeah, it's go time. You are ready to kind of get out there again. You're ready to see what could happen. I feel like you just want to get involved in your life again. Maybe this year has just made you feel super stagnant, and you're ready to like get out there and just try something again. You have life, so I feel like you're getting the life back in you as well, and you have laugh. So just, yeah, a lot of really positive energy, just kind of refreshing, recharging, and you have faith. So I feel like just have faith that something could surprise you, that something great could be coming your way. I just feel like a lot of you maybe have been doubtful, and you're starting to open up to the possibility that something could be good again. So just stay open to that. You know, you don't have to necessarily take this person that you're on the next first date with, but I feel like there's something important that might kind of come up for you with that. But I think most of you, this could potentially be something long term if that's what you want. You have this kind of affectionate cat here, so this date might be kind of affectionate. You might be kind of like more touchy-feely with each other, like holding hands, or like, you know, kind of a brush on the shoulder, or like I have this image of somebody tucking like someone's hair behind their ear, so there might be some of that, but just kind of a lot more like physical affection on this date. You have the cat sitting here on the moon, so that just has to do with like waiting for your dreams to come true. So I feel like you've been maybe in this energy of just kind of dreaming and wishing and waiting and hoping that things will change. And now I think you're ready to start taking action on it. You're ready to give somebody a chance and try it out and see how it goes. You have a lot of cats here, so that might be a spirit animal for you, or you might have cats, or this person might have cats, but this is, I think, the third cat charm. I think we have 3 sitting out here, but you also have the cat face. So that just speaks of being independent. So you might be priding yourself on being independent, especially with that Four of Pentacles card. You might be someone who like saves up your money and you're really proud of yourself with how much you've achieved, and you're feeling like maybe I don't need anybody. But just because you don't need someone doesn't mean that you can't allow someone into your life as well. That doesn't mean that you have to shut down all relationships or all possibilities of romance. Because you do have quite a few romantic charms here. You have the two kind of interlocking hearts. So this particular one makes me think like opposites attract because, they're upside down, but they're very compatible. So maybe you're meeting somebody that you just feel like at first glance you would not ever give the time of day to romantically, that you don't feel like you would make a good match, but that you just maybe somehow complement each other, that your strengths and weaknesses kind of balance out, and that there's maybe a lot to talk about. I feel like you probably have a shared sense of humor because you've got that laugh charm. But overall, I feel like this is maybe a surprisingly compatible relationship here. And you have the two swans making like a heart with their necks as well. So that to me is often like a soulmate's kind of energy, particularly romantic soulmates, especially in this scenario. But so this might be somebody that you've had maybe past lives with or something, or you just feel that kind of kinship with when you first meet them, that you just felt like you've known them before. There's that sense of familiarity and compatibility, even if you wouldn't think that at first glance. You have the clothespin, so maybe you're afraid to get attached. That's kind of the energy I'm getting there, is that you're worried about getting too attached too quickly, or getting attached to the wrong situation, and you want to maintain your independence. And so I think because of that, you might be holding back from getting into something new just because you don't want to do that and then give up your independence and then lose what you feel like you've built over all this time. You have the splits here, so I feel like you might be feeling very split as to what to do, that half of you is kind of like wanting to stay single, wanting to stay independent, and the other half is really wanting to just check things out, try a relationship, that kind of thing. You have the little boy charm here, so one of you might have like a son, or just might have kids, or this could have to do with maybe like the masculine in the situation, and that doesn't have to correlate with gender. It's just maybe the more active participant in the situation. Maybe they're a little less mature than you, but they're just kind of that youthful spirit, very fun-loving, very adventurous, just get out there and like do anything, that they're game for anything. You have the gin bottle here, which just has to do with letting go of your vices. So maybe you've been depending on like drinking, or maybe you kind of go to comfort food or something and you've been trying to kind of break away from that. And this could be pointing to some codependency too, that maybe you've had some codependency issues in the past and you're trying to let those go, and you're worried about getting into a new relationship in case that kind of feeds you back into that codependent cycle again. You have the rooster crowing here. So I feel like somebody's trying to get your attention in kind of a loud way. So maybe many of you might already know who this person is who's trying to get you to go on a date with them. Maybe this is someone who's been like trying to get you to do that for a while. And obviously if somebody's harassing you, that's a different situation, and don't, stand for that. But if somebody is just really wanting to get you to go on a date with them and you're wanting to, but you're just afraid, maybe this is a sign to just go for it. Just see what happens. You don't have to let it turn into anything, but this could have some sort of long-term potential. You have the sunglasses here, so that always makes me think of just being relaxed, like in kind of vacation mode, having a really good time, because there's a lot of like kind of vacation charms here. But that also could just have to do with things being so sunny that you have to put sunglasses on, like things being so bright and fun that you're like, whoa, tone it down. So I feel like you might be laughing until your sides ache, until your stomach aches in this situation, that maybe that's what makes you feel like this person could be a potential person that you want to do something long term with, because you don't laugh as much with anybody as you do with this person. And maybe it's been a long time since you've laughed for many of you, and this is just like, a breath of fresh air, that you can laugh so much with this person and that they make you laugh so much. You have time, so I know that I kind of linked that in with the go time, but it's also making me think that this might take time to build. So obviously, like, don't rush it or anything, or you're wanting to take time so that you take things slowly, but this also could just mean this can stand the test of time as well. It's not going to be something that's just going to burn up in 2 seconds. With the shell and the starfish here, that makes me think of just when things are at low tide, you can see kind of what's on the beach. So I feel like in this period of time where you've not had a lot going on romantically, or you've felt really down about romance and relationships in general, you've been able to really look at your emotions and see what's kind of under the surface and really sort through what you need and what you don't need, that kind of thing. You have the kind of tropical drink here, so that makes me think of socializing, maybe going out for drinks, that kind of thing, but also just having fun, doing something just because it's fun. No other reason other than it's enjoyable. You don't have to attach anything else to it, but I feel like maybe that's why many of you agree to go on this date with this person if that's what you're wanting to do, is that you just want to have fun. This is something that maybe you've just been kind of stagnant for a while and you just want to laugh and just have something lighthearted and enjoyable again. You have the to-go coffee cup, so you might get coffee with this person. Maybe you meet them getting coffee, something like that. But that also just makes me think of like being on the go, things just kind of moving forward fairly quickly. And it's also making me think of this kind of launching your journey card. So just that kind of energy of moving forward and things changing kind of rapidly or getting busy quickly. So I feel like that's something maybe you need to prepare for, or maybe you're hoping that things start to get busy again. This could also mean that you two are having a hard time kind of finding space in your schedules for each other. But if this is something you want to do, maybe make time for that and figure out how that can work. You have the rainbow fish, so that has to do with uniqueness and just kind of sharing your uniqueness with the world, not closing off because you're worried about what people are going to think of you. So maybe you've been judged for how you are, like who you are, how you look, just something that kind of sets you apart from the crowd. You've been judged for that in the past and you've kind of held back for a while, and now you're ready to kind of show that true self to the world again, and that's maybe what draws this person in. You have the whale here, so that just makes me think of like having to kind of exhale, that they have to get up to the surface to allow all that water out. So I feel like that's just making me think you have to do that emotionally. Maybe you have to do some sort of emotional purge, that you've kind of gone down to the depths to see what's there, and now you're in that state of kind of purging. And maybe that has to do with this vulnerability that you can share with this person, that you are able to be vulnerable with them and you don't have to kind of hold back and filter yourself out of fear of being judged. You have the fertility goddess here, so this definitely has the potential to stand the test of time. It could grow into something really beautiful. If you want kids, maybe this could be the person that you have kids with, because we have the baby feet here too. So that could resonate for some of you, that maybe you want a baby, or you just want things to grow with this person. And this is saying that this stuff definitely has the potential to create new life, create something new. And with the baby feet as well, that has to do with baby steps. So taking baby steps forward, maybe not being ready to jump into a fully fledged relationship yet, but just going on a date, that kind of one date card is coming to my mind. So just, taking that first step forward. You have the little fairy here that's kind of carrying something and like giving something to somebody. It almost makes me think of that. So that just makes me think of like someone really wanting to give joy to you, and this kind of makes me think of how this protection card, that she's holding on to the world here, and that this fairy is holding on to something that looks very similar. It's just this little ball. So this could be like a sign of fertility, because she's like kind of holding her belly. So that could relate to fertility again. And like if you want kids with this person or something, or want kids in general, this could be the potential relationship for that. But also just, I think this person wants to bring you lots of joy and laughter, because fairies have to do with that kind of childlike sense of joy, laughter, lightness. And I think this person's just wanting to bring that element of lightness and joy into your life. You have the little shoe house, like the old woman who lived in a shoe. So that just has to do with feeling like you don't have enough to offer, but you do have enough. So maybe you're feeling like you're not in the emotional state where you're ready for a relationship, and that's fine, but just don't hold back because you feel like you have nothing to offer somebody, because everybody has something to offer. So just don't hold back again out of fear or insecurity or anything like that, especially if you're wanting to do this and that's the only thing holding you back. You have Cancer energy here. So one of you two could be a Cancer sign, but also on the back it says imaginative here. So definitely could get into like kind of a creative date. Maybe this person's the type to like make a scavenger hunt or something for you, or do something really unique and creative that just really surprises you and makes you feel like, okay, if this person's putting in this much effort now, what could that mean for the future? And that might be something that kind of sparks your interest in something longer term as well. And then you also have the measuring cup, which has to do with like measuring up, sometimes to your expectations, sometimes trying to figure out how much of something to put into a situation, like how much of yourself to put into this. And I think this is just saying, just listen to your gut. Don't worry so much. Don't try to think 10 steps ahead. Just allow things to happen as they will. Don't stress too much about this, but just get out there and see what happens. So group 2, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so that you can see when I've posted new content. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 3, so if you chose the boot, which is the ice skating date, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out what your next first date will be like. So for your tarot, you have the 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, and the Lovers. Wow. So I feel like your next first date could be with somebody that you could have a potential long-term future with, but just beware of self-sabotaging because of being anxious about how things can work out, or like what might happen, how they're feeling, that kind of thing. Because the 10 of Pentacles has to do with stability of all types. So familial stability, romantic stability, just feeling really good, feeling secure financially and everything. And here they're all sitting watching the fireworks. So I feel like they're just feeling good. You know, they've got a solid group of friends, solid couples, things like that. So maybe you'll do something that just makes you feel like, okay, yeah, I could see something long-term with this person, that you're already picturing and imagining what things could look like down the line, you know, if you ever had a family together or something like that. But the 9 of Swords is anxiety and worry and just overthinking. So I feel like you might need to be careful of wanting to figure out every step of the way, like what might happen, what if this happens, like what are they thinking, what if they don't want me, you know, just like that kind of spiral that your thoughts can go down. Just be careful of not doing that, because that might kind of torpedo this into the ground. And then with the Lovers here, this to me says that you'll know kind of right away that this is a very deep connection. You'll feel safe being vulnerable with this person, because notice that this guy is crying and she's comforting him. So I feel like you'll feel like you've known this person forever. So this might be someone that you already know, that you've already had a past or like a family or kids with or something. But if not, this just feels familiar. This person just feels like somebody that you can really trust and be vulnerable with, and just that you don't have to try to be anything other than yourself with this person. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have lighten your load. So that to me just says, like, again, with that anxiety, just maybe talk about your anxiety. Even if you feel comfortable enough being vulnerable with this person, talk to them about what you're feeling. You know, don't bottle it up and let it just eat away at you from the inside. Just release that. And if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, you know, write it down or find some other way to just let those thoughts go, so that you're not just letting them rule your life and take control over the situation. Revealing radiance, my light illuminates the world. So I feel like you're going to feel very comfortable being yourself with this person. And when you're together, this might be the kind of like relationship where you walk down the street and you're laughing and feeling good together, and people just stare because you two just kind of shine together, that you bring out the best in each other, you make each other feel really good, and people can really tell how much you love and respect each other. And even if this is like a first date kind of thing, I think you'll just feel so compatible, and like you two just click, that will be apparent from the very beginning. So you have musing right along, number 18. So You two might meet in some sort of creative endeavor, like maybe you two are both like writers or actors or musicians, and you meet from something related to that. You meet like at an event, or you both took a class together or something like that where you'll meet regarding that. And if you didn't meet that way, this could also just mean that you two might make good creative partners. So if you're into creative things, you two would make good like creative business partners, or you want to like compose together or write things together or whatever, but you two can create things together. And if you're not the creative type, this might just mean that you two would create a life together that would just feel right to both of you. You wouldn't have to make tons of compromises about doing things that you don't want to do or feel like this life isn't what I wanted or anything like that. You two just have those same ideas and you can both bring them into reality more easily because of each other, if that makes sense. You have wide open, number 42. So this to me just says be open to whatever comes. Don't be afraid to show your true self, but just stay open to this. This could turn into something amazing. And this kind of makes me think of the Fool card in tarot, because it just looks like she's about to jump off this cliff, make a leap of faith in the hopes that she can maybe fly or jump into something really amazing. So I feel like maybe this will be a date where you just feel like, okay, I'm ready to jump in, and you just are excited about it from the beginning. But just, I feel like that anxiety is the only thing kind of holding you back and keeping you on that cliff. You have strategy, number 21. So I feel like you might be like wanting to kind of figure out every step of the way. Maybe you two have to kind of plan out a date, or maybe this person planned out a very kind of intricate date for you. But I feel like maybe you're trying to figure out and strategize way ahead of time, like how could this work? Will one of us have to move to be with the other one or something like that, that you just have a lot of details that you feel like you need to work out. And you also have anxiety, number 18. So you have two number 18s here, which is the Moon card in tarot. So that to me is definitely fear, and fear because of uncertainty. And with this anxiety as well, I do think that that's just worrying about what might happen, what could come in the future. What if something goes wrong? Do they have feelings for me? Do they like me? What if they change their mind? It's just that thought spiral that just takes you down, and it just feels like a storm in your head, because you see like kind of lightning going on in the background there, that there's a storm in the background. So yeah, I feel like you just have to be aware of letting those thoughts take over, because I think this is a pretty solid situation. That Ten of Pentacles is very solid, very stable, but just I think the only thing that might get in the way is that self-imposed anxiety, just wanting to know what's going to happen before it happens. So just try to be open to whatever comes and release the need to know ahead of time what might happen. You have stability. This relationship can stand the test of time. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking with the Ten of Pentacles, is that this can be a stable situation. This could stand the test of time, and you are able to be vulnerable with this person. So you might want to voice your anxieties to this person and just share what you're feeling and thinking to see if that eases your mind. Just getting it out might help, but also just making sure that this person knows like why, maybe if you're acting differently or if you're holding back or something because you're anxious, it might help them to know why that's happening. You have bold move. So I feel like maybe this is something kind of unexpected. Maybe you are going to reach out to this person, or they're going to reach out to you, and you either didn't expect anything from this person, or you didn't expect that this person had feelings for you or something. But this also even says taking steps. So I feel like just taking steps forward to make this happen, that strategy there. Just making sure that you do things to get this going. If you're both interested in it, don't hold back solely out of fear. Be open to what happens, plan it out, make it happen, but just don't allow that fear to hold you back, because I feel like that's something that you will regret. I'm just getting that sense that you really want whatever this is, but it's just that fear is the one thing in the way, and it's big fear. It's not just kind of a little bit of nervousness, that most people get at the beginning of a relationship. This is like major anxiety taking over your thoughts all the time. So just make sure that you try to get that under control if you need to talk to somebody or whatever, but just make sure you're gentle with yourself. And then you have Agapanthus, words of love, speak with your heart. So yeah, definitely be open with this person, talk to this person. I think they might be somebody who's going to say some really loving things to you. I think they might even say at the beginning that they're scared, they're nervous, because they really, really like you. They want this, but they don't know where it's going to go. How do you feel? You know, that you might have to have some open conversations with this person and be willing to discuss it. Because I think you might be wanting to not talk about it because you're worried that if you do talk about your anxieties, you're going to mess up this relationship. But the thing is, anxiety just festering under the surface is likely to also do something that can ruin everything. So just make sure that you're being open about it and that you're not letting that take over or sabotage something that you want. You know, make sure that you're keeping that kind of in check and in balance. And then we have your personality cards here. So these might signify a trait that you have, a trait this other person has. It could sum up your personalities, or it could just be some energies that are coming through on this first date. So you have the Bumblebee, which this card always makes me think of the Fool card. Just again, being wide open to things. It's very similar energy where it just looks like she's ready for an adventure, ready to move forward, do something she's never done before. So that kind of goes with that bold move card as well. And just exploring, you know, just seeing what happens, seeing what's out there. So you might even like I don't know if you've watched Group Two's message as well, but that was the hiking date. So maybe you will want to go on a hiking date, or that's something that you'll do because she's actually like hiking here. But I just feel like you're wanting to move into this new situation, but you're just worried about what that might hold. And then you have the Yesterday, number 21. So you've got two 21s as well. So 18 and 21 are some kind of synchronistic numbers here, so those might be significant dates for you, but it also 21 is the World card in tarot, which also this Bumblebee card makes me think of the World as well. And we've got the World up here on her back here, so there's a lot about the world. So this might be somebody that's from across the world. You might travel together. This also just signifies like completion and kind of feeling whole and successful in whatever you set out to do. So I think again that's saying that this could be successful. It can stand the test of time if you want that. But with this card, the Yesterday, that makes me think of just feeling held back by things from the past, feeling stuck in the past, worried, you know, that anxiety and Nine of Swords might be because you had things go sour in the past and now you're worried to repeat those same mistakes. But just beware of living too much in the past and open yourself up to the future and the present in particular, because I feel like the past can easily just kind of take control over you and hold you back from experiencing your future. And then by holding back now, that's going to be in the future a past that you will regret again, if that makes sense. Sorry, that's kind of a confusing cyclical kind of dynamic there. But yeah, just make sure that you're not feeling held back or being held back by the past out of fear of what could happen in the future. So just make sure that you're opening up to new possibilities and staying kind of in the present, in the now. So group 3, I want to get your charms now to figure out some more information. We are going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So group 3, what will your next first date be like? All right, so in the heart we have number 27, so that might be a significant date number for many of you, and you also have the stethoscope. So somebody could be in the medical field, but also that just has to do with healing and kind of taking care of yourself. But that's very much an energy of healing from the past for me. So making sure that your past is not holding you back, working through those situations, those feelings from the past so that they're not kind of sabotaging your present or your future, because the past is in the past for a reason. It's not happening anymore. Traumas and things from the past can keep coming up, but it's important to work through and heal from those so that you are open to whatever the future might bring. You do have the skull and crossbones, so that's toxic energy. So yeah, I feel like there's definitely a lot of kind of sabotaging behaviors. You might be dealing with some sort of addictions or other toxic behaviors or toxic relationship behaviors, codependency. You might be stuck in manipulative situations a lot of the time, but just make sure that you're working on releasing those, even if you're not in those situations anymore. I feel like many of you are feeling kind of held captive by the past. You have happy here. So yeah, I think you have that potential to be really happy with this person, be happy within yourself, but you have to allow that to come in. You have to allow yourself to change and transform and not be tied down by the past anymore. You have Gemini energy here, and that's interesting because Gemini is also the Lovers card in tarot, which you got. So that's just kind of more emphasis on that, but one of you two could be a Gemini as well or have Gemini in your chart. But otherwise, that's just more emphasis on that Lover's energy, the kind of like twin energy. So this could be like a twin flame situation. That could explain why you feel that kind of interconnectedness very early, or this could just be somebody who kind of keeps coming back into your life and you really want to give it a chance this time, something like that. I think everyone's situation is going to be a bit different for that, but overall, this is like a soulmate or twin flame kind of energy where you two are just very compatible. You feel very familiar with each other, and it's a healthy and safe relationship. So just, kind of be aware of that. If it feels healthy and safe and it's only the fear that's holding you back, make sure to kind of mitigate that fear somehow. You have the Lighthouse. So I feel like you're being guided in this situation. So whether that's spiritual guidance, I think many of you are being spiritually guided in this situation, but also you might be getting some professional guidance in some way. Like if you're seeing a counselor or a therapist or something, you might be working through some of those past anxieties and traumas and trying to work through that so that you can be more open in the future as well. The Butterfly, again, just transformation, change, being willing to kind of leave the past in the past and move forward into a new future. You have the Drink here, so that makes me think of just going on a date, getting drinks, like enjoying your time together, something just that feels really calm and safe, but still like joyful and exciting. It's that kind of Three of Cups energy of just enjoying yourself, but with like kind of one-on-one energy is what I'm feeling. So I feel like you're just going to have a really good first date that feels like the ideal first date is kind of what's coming to mind. So whether that means that you just feel how you want to feel with this person, or whether it's doing everything that you want to do on a first date, it's just like the setup is exactly what you would have dreamt up had you come up with it, something like that. But I feel like that's coming up for many of you. You have some, so I feel like maybe you are kind of just wary, that you have some feelings for this person, or you're feeling like you don't want to invest everything. You want to invest some of yourself, but you don't want to put your entire self into this. But just know that if your gut is telling you it's safe, it's most likely safe. That's your gut feeling knows best, and it's that kind of calm feeling that just is that calm knowing. But if you're feeling anxious and you feel like maybe that's not indicative of the situation, but it's just something coming up from your past, make sure that you're working through that. You have the Fool energy here. So yeah, new beginning, that kind of new joy and excitement and enthusiasm that happens when you're right at the beginning of something, just embarking on a new adventure. So I feel like you're getting excited about this new beginning, and you're kind of seeing it through all the way to the end, that you see that this could last a lifetime or last a long time, just whatever is coming up for that. You have the kind of opening up like flower here. So I feel like you're kind of allowing yourself to open up in layers. So that kind of goes with this sum here. That's kind of what I was trying to say with that particular charm, is that you're wanting to open up to this person, but you're just having to kind of peel away layer by layer. You're not able to do it all at once, and that's fine. Just especially if that's helping you feel safer with this person, to just peel back a layer at a time. That's probably a healthier way to do it, rather than just jumping in and then retreating because you're scared, if that makes sense. I think you're probably worried that you don't have enough to offer this person as well, with the kind of old woman who lived in a shoe. But just know you do have enough to offer. It doesn't have to be anything material. You don't have to be a perfect person. You don't have to be entirely emotionally healthy. I know it's important to be emotionally healthy and not be dependent on somebody else, but you can still be working through and healing things. The important thing is, are you working on managing it? Are you in a place where you feel like you could allow someone else into your life without kind of manipulating them or doing unhealthy behaviors in that situation, if that makes sense. But just be aware of that. But I think most of this is that your fear is bigger than what the actual situation is. It's disproportionate to what the situation is, because you have this little like Cthulhu charm, which represents that giant fear that's bigger than the situation itself. So I think just make sure that you're not feeling ruled by fear. Make sure that you are staying open to positive possibilities and positive outcomes as well. Because I think you can see those possibilities, but you're not necessarily giving into them as readily as you're giving into your anxiety. So just make sure that you're more balanced about that. You have the apple here. So that to me says that this is a healthy situation. It is a healthy relationship. And just, again, listen to your gut instinct. So if this is like a manipulative situation or something like that, then obviously this is not for you. But if this is a healthy relationship and the only thing holding you back is that anxiety, just trust in that healthiness. Make sure that you're using your best judgment, but don't let that fear be the only thing that's keeping you from investing in this situation. You have the cat here with the heart. Sorry, it's not focusing, but that represents unconditional love for me. So, animals are unconditionally loving towards their owners and just are so pure with their love. And I feel like that's the kind of love that you're going to have with this person. It's just going to be unconditional, and just you'll feel so protected and safe and like you can be vulnerable with this person. And I think that anxiety is the only thing that's going to kind of divide you or make you feel unsure about it. And then we have mom coming through. So many of you might be a mother. So yeah, like there are, I think, a few situations for you where this is somebody that you've had kids with in the past. And so that could be coming up for many of you, and you're wondering whether you should reinvest or invest more readily into this situation if you feel truly safe with this person. Others of you might want to be a parent and have kids with this person, that you could see that happening in the future. But I feel like a few of you, this is a message from your mom saying, hey, I sent this person, they're safe, I'm doing this for you. Just that kind of protective mom energy and that unconditionally loving energy. So yeah, there's definitely a message coming through for you. So for anyone who's like lost their mom or was asking their mom for guidance or a sign on a relationship, if this is the right one for them, then this is that sign. So just be aware of that. That's for some people. So group 3, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 4. So if you chose the camera or the movie date, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out what your next first date will be like. So for your tarot, you have the Tower, the Chariot, and the Hanged Man. So I feel like maybe you've had a lot of like disastrous relationships in the past, or maybe just this year was really terrible for you and you're ready to kind of charge in to a new situation with the Chariot card here. Like maybe you're ready to just move forward, but I feel like because the Chariot is often about split energy, you might not really know what exactly you want. And then that's where the Hanged Man comes in, is it's just saying take a pause, get a new perspective, just kind of take this time to think about it and see what insights kind of come up. So I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have trust. So I feel like this is saying that whatever this next first date is, trust that it's working out as it's meant to. So whether it turns out well or doesn't turn out well, just trust that the right thing is coming to you. You have following your bliss, my soul sings with joy. So I feel like as long as you are following what you want to do, like following what brings you joy, I think things are going to work out. So I feel like whatever your next first date is going to be, it might be a lot of fun. I think you're just going to feel really good about your life in general at that point. But yeah, I'm getting this energy that there might be like kind of two dates coming up, or like two situations where you might have like a first date that's maybe disastrous, like with that Tower card, and then another one that's going to be better suited for you. Because that Chariot is really, even though this card doesn't show split energy that much, it's just making me kind of feel like there's some split energy. Because the Chariot is often showing like two horses trying to move in two different directions. So you have to kind of unite them in order to move forward in a better way. You have Superhero, number 31. So I feel like this is just you kind of recognizing your own strength, and you might have somebody coming in who's like wanting to maybe save you from a disastrous situation. So all I can think of is maybe you have like a disastrous first date with somebody where just literally everything is going wrong and you just feel like, man, this could not be any worse. And then bam, this person just shows up and comes into your life, and it's like, wow, maybe I was meant to be on this disastrous first date with somebody so that I can meet the right person on that. Like someone swoops in and like saves you from like a terrible person who's just like either really boring or just like a total jerk or something, and then they swoop in and kind of like get you out of that situation, and then you go on your date. Because I feel like with that Chariot, you're moving from one energy into something like calmer. You have Come Together. So yeah, I feel like, and that's number 8. So I feel like you've got a lot of love coming your way, and you are going to come together with someone that's really fitting for you, because these two giraffes together like look like kind of two peas in a pod is what I'm thinking of. So you might have somebody that just shows up and just feels like they're made for you, or like are a clone of you in some ways. And you're realizing that that's what you've been missing for a while. You have the Thinking Woman, number 47. So I feel like that kind of ties in with that Hanged Man energy to me. That maybe you or this person are having to think about it for a while before you make a decision. Maybe you're really overanalyzing it, or you're trying to figure out if you should be listening to your intuition or your head. But you're just like maybe taking a step back and just really thinking about it, trying to figure out if you want to do this. Because for some of you, I'm feeling like maybe this has happened already, that you had this disastrous date with someone and then you met somebody out of the blue as a result of that situation, whatever disaster it might have been. And you're trying to figure out if this is something you want to pursue or not. So yeah, just take time to think about it. Trust that the right thing is going to come to you, but just make sure that you are taking time. You have Addiction, and addiction is affecting this relationship. So this could be a traditional addiction, like somebody's addicted to smoking or some kind of drug, or, just some sort of like substance abuse. It could also have to do with like unhealthy relationship dynamics, codependency, obsessive thoughts, things like that. Or it could be like even an addiction to food or something like that. But I just feel like that might be something that's kind of holding you back or making you reconsider this. Maybe this person has an addiction, or you feel like you tend to get into situations that are unhealthy, that are like not good for you, and you feel like you're addicted to relationships, so you're trying to figure out if you really even want to start another relationship right now. And then you have Here and Now, your true love is already part of your life. So yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling, that you might have met this good person already, whoever is like actually like a really good fit for you, and you're just trying to figure out if you want to pursue it, because you've had so many disastrous situations. You just feel like maybe you need a timeout from relationships, because you tend to just kind of go from one disaster to the next, and you just charge in and then it blows up again. So I feel like, yeah, it's just saying take some time to just relax and just follow what makes you feel good. So if you feel like joyful about pursuing a relationship, do that. If you feel joyful about being single, do that, but just kind of be open to whatever situations come in, and just be open to your intuition guiding you, because I feel like many of you have very intuitive abilities, but maybe you tend to ignore them because you like talk yourself out of it, or you feel like there's no way that that could be right, or you second guess yourself, things like that. You have Try Me. So this just makes me think of being really defensive and just feeling like you're at the end of your rope. Like you've gone through disaster after disaster. You've gone through terrible relationships, and you're just done with that. And you're like, you know what, the next person who even looks at me, I'm done with. You're just in that kind of defensive mode. You might not really be in the mood for a relationship, but this person is really great and you don't want to lose out on that. That might be why you're kind of in this kind of thinking, like meditating mode, like just reconsidering, trying to figure out what the perspective should be, like what what should you kind of charge into? Is it better to be single, or is it better to start something with somebody if they're great and you don't want to lose out on that? And then you have Calla Lily, rejuvenation, reawaken, and then stand stronger. So that's very much that tower energy of like clearing away what doesn't work and then standing in your power. And that kind of fits with that superhero energy too, that you are in your power. And maybe you've kind of gotten used to finally being in your power, and then it's like, oh, but there's this person here who wants a relationship with me. Should I do it or not? That kind of thing. So sorry that this is turning into more of a like next relationship or next relationship possibility rather than next first date, but that's just kind of what's coming through. But you also have Tiger Lily, security. Choose the safe harbor for now. So to me, that's saying whatever makes you feel safest, choose that. So don't jump into something if you feel like somebody might be unstable or might turn into a disaster or something like that. But if you're feeling like this person is safe and you're feeling like shaky on your own, and not because you're depending on a relationship, but just like you don't feel right about being on your own, pick whatever makes you feel safest and most comfortable. Whenever you get into that mode where you're just feeling wholly present and secure and stable, that's what you should go with. So that's kind of the guidance you're getting. And if you're trying to decide between maybe two people, if one of them has addictions and one of them is like in your life and is really like solid and stable but might seem a little bit boring or something like that, might seem less exciting, choose the safe option. That's the advice you're getting. And then for your personality card, so these cards can have to do with your personality. It could be representative of you or the other person, and in this case it could be either of several people, it sounds like, or it can also just be an energy that's coming up on this date. So you have the Silent, number 71. So yeah, this just makes me think of that Hanged Man energy again and that Thinking Woman energy. So I feel like this is just saying take some time on your own, just think about it, tune into your intuition, figure out what that's saying. What do you really want? What makes you feel more blissful, joyful? What feels right with you? What feels safer? And not just giving into wanting excitement or giving into fear holding you back or anything like that, but what feels safe and secure to you? What feels right? But there is a lot of like really positive energy coming in, because that following your bliss obviously is very positive. You have this come together card where it looks like some sunbeams are kind of shining out here, and then this guy, there's some sunbeams shining down on him as well. So yeah, I feel like that's saying there are a lot of kind of intuitive messages coming to you, and also a lot of positive energy coming. So whatever is going to happen with this situation is like right for you. I think you're going to feel good about whatever situation you end up in, whatever choice you make, you'll feel solid and secure about that. So just trust whatever your gut instinct is telling you. Take that time to think about it, meditate, like kind of tune into what you feel like your gut is really wanting you to do. Don't stay defensive just out of fear that things won't turn out, and don't just jump in because you want some excitement in your life. Kind of stay balanced, trust that the right thing will come in, and see what happens. So I want to get your charms now to figure out some more information about this. And we are going to use the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So group 4, what will your next first date be like? Okay, so in the heart you have the Elephant. So that makes me think of just like past situations, like not forgetting what's happened. So I'm now getting that many of you might be kind of returning to an ex over and over. Like there's a toxic relationship situation that you just keep going back to, even though it blows up every time. Like you have an off and on again kind of situation with somebody where you keep like making up and then breaking up and making up and breaking up. And this is saying learn from your past. Don't repeat those old cycles again and again just because that's what you know, or that's what's like felt like you felt that pull back to it. If you're not feeling safe in that situation, or you don't feel like that's the right situation for you, cut that out and move forward into the future. Stay present, figure out what your gut is telling you, because I think many of you might be continuously going back to an ex, even if you feel like it's not going to turn out. Like, you know how it's going to turn out every time, but there's just something about this person or about this relationship. Maybe you kind of thrive on the drama of it or something, but I just feel like this is saying cut that out, learn from your past, don't keep repeating those mistakes. So that seems to be maybe what's going on, is that you keep going back to this disastrous situation, and then maybe someone a little bit more stable, but maybe it seems like they're a little more boring has come in, and you're just kind of doubtful that that's going to work out just because maybe they're not what you're used to. You know, they're not the exciting or like the dramatic kind of person, or dramatic, they wouldn't be giving you that dramatic relationship that you've been in for a long time, but they're still, you know, more stable and more secure. So just kind of keep that in mind. You have Gemini energy here. So one of you might be a Gemini, a couple of you, like if you, one of you in this situation might be a Gemini, or you might have it in your chart, but it also has to do with twin energy. So there could be like twin flame situation kind of involved in here. Also, the Gemini energy is the Lover's card, so that also has to do with making a choice between two lovers often, and that Chariot energy being kind of split as well. So I do feel like there's a big choice here. So that choice about repeating your past or moving forward into a new future. So I feel like that's definitely going to resonate with many of you. You have always here, so I feel like you always go back to this person, or you've made like promises that you'll always be there or something, and you just kind of keep repeating that cycle. I just feel like there's a lot of like toxic cycles like kind of coming into play here. You have this charm that actually landed on its side, so neither word was upright, but we have time on one side and we have will on the other. So to me that says like time will heal, time will change things, you know, just kind of fill in that blank, whatever word comes to mind. Time will what? Because those are the things that come to mind when I think of that. You have a couple other zodiac signs here. So you have Sagittarius, so that could resonate for some of you. And that says optimistic. So be optimistic about the future of your love life. Be optimistic about your life as a single person. Just be optimistic that things will work out. And then you have Pisces energy as well, and that's intuitive. So yeah, many of you are very intuitive, but you just have to listen to your intuition, because I think many of you tend to kind of brush it off, you ignore it. You know that you're getting into a bad situation, but you just keep repeating because it's just, it gives you that kind of rush of dopamine. You know, it is like an addiction for many of you where you just can't break that cycle. You have heart, so make sure you're taking care of your heart. Maybe some of you need to kind of clear your heart chakra, get rid of the excess, like old toxic energy, that kind of stagnant energy. Make sure that you're showing your self-love, because I think many of you keep going back to the situation hoping that it will kind of heal you, even though you have to do the work to heal yourself. I think many of you are aware of that, and you know you need to break this, but you're just having a hard time with that final push into actually making that difficult decision. You have the wrench here. So yeah, I think you maybe keep going back and wanting to fix it, even if you feel like it's unfixable, but you just feel like, man, I've invested so much time into this person. Why would I, you know, cut that off and move forward into something new? Because I've already, you know, don't fall into that sunk cost fallacy. Don't feel like just because you invested so much time in this person in the past, that means you can't have a new future as well. Just make sure you're doing what's right for you. And I think you know what that is, but you might not be listening to yourself. Yeah, this represents the wheel, or the wheel of fortune for me. So yeah, more like toxic cycle energy and just kind of falling into those old patterns. And I think you really do need to kind of clear out the dust, make sure that you're not holding on to old stuff just because it's been around for so long. You know, clear it out, make room for the new. I think that you really do need some new energy. You need to be ready to like launch into a new future. Yeah, with this rocket ship, that makes me think of just like launching a new you, a new future, like just getting ready for takeoff. I feel like that's maybe the period of time you're in right now, is getting ready to be investing in a new situation. So I feel like many of you are, maybe it'll be a little while before you have another like first date, but maybe you do have your eye on somebody a little more stable, a little more secure, and you want to be with that person, or you're starting to realize they might be a better choice than you thought initially, but you have some private, like personal work that you have to do on first. Like you have to do some self introspection, you have to do some work on yourself and, you know, on the rest of your life before you're ready to let somebody else in. You have the peace sign here. So I think Maybe you're finally recognizing that you're ready for peace. You don't want to be in just drama land anymore. You want to move forward into something healthier, something a bit more like stable. You don't want to just have those kind of roller coaster ups and downs anymore. You have the sun peeking out from behind the clouds. So, yeah, things will look bright again. I know that it can often feel like we're just stuck in that kind of foggy, toxic, like just down energy, that it just feels like things will never clear up. You'll never kind of know what the future will bring. It never feels like anything's going to clear up, but the sun always comes back out again. So just trust that things will get better, because we did have all those sunbeams on those different cards. So just know things will look brighter soon. And I think for many of you, that sun is coming out already, so that it is looking brighter now. And you also have the bat. So this just has to do with like fears from our past kind of like coming back around. So just the things flying around in the dark. So when you get into kind of your shadow side, whatever maybe you're ashamed of, or just your kind of low level emotions, guilt, fear, shame, those kinds of things, whatever comes up and seems to always like fly around in your head when you're thinking of those things, that's what this bat represents. So whatever those are, like just feeling like maybe you can't do better, or feeling like nothing will ever change, or like you deserve this person, or just, you've put too much energy into it, it's too late, or it's never going to happen for you. Just that's what that bat represents. So just cut that out and make sure that you're making room for a new you, a new like healthier mindset as well. You have the kind of tropical drink here, so that makes me think of just having fun, making room in your life for joy. That following your bliss card definitely wants you to focus on joy. Follow what makes you feel good. Don't just follow what makes you feel like, oh, I deserve this, You do have some angelic guidance and protection coming in here, so some of you might have even been like praying or asking angels or spirit guides or something for help. And so they're definitely coming through to help you as well. And I think if you like center yourself and meditate, you might kind of have some of that guidance coming in for yourself that you might hear. You have the banana bunch. So that makes me think of just like waiting until the right time for things, because you can often buy bananas when they're still green and you have to wait for them to ripen. But if you wait too long, then they end up brown and mushy and you have to bake them into banana bread or something instead. So just making sure that you're waiting the right amount of time until you're ready to enter into something new. I feel like you do want something new. You want that fresh energy, but you just often keep getting pulled back into that old situation again. So just make sure that you are waiting the right amount of time, but you're not just like waiting thinking that you don't deserve something better. You have Hello Kitty, so that makes me think often of nostalgia and like joy kind of stemming from nostalgia. So you might be kind of looking back on this old relationship with rose-colored glasses on, and you might be seeing things as better than they actually were. And then when you get back into that situation, you remember why you left that situation or why it didn't work out or whatever it was. So just make sure that you're not keeping those rose-colored glasses on. Make sure that you're being more objective. Take time to really explore those thoughts and feelings and be more like objective about how things actually were. Make sure that you're checking in with the reality of the situation and not just what your fantasy is saying, like what your memories have kind of changed it to be. And you also have the sunglasses. So that's kind of similar to the rose-colored glasses message that I was giving you, but it also has to do with just things becoming so sunny that you need to put shades on, So things will get brighter and happier, and you might be shocked as to how happy you end up. But just know that you have to open up to that happiness in order to like let that in. I feel like many of you kind of shut it down beforehand because you feel like it won't last or you don't deserve it. So just get ready for things to get better and embrace that instead of pushing it away. You have the deer. So I feel like you think that you're on kind of like shaky legs right now. You're not really sure how to maneuver the world either as a single person or moving into a new relationship. So I feel like you're not quite ready for things yet, but I feel like you will be soon, and just keep practicing. The deer just keeps kind of hobbling ahead, and then when it falls, it gets right back up. So just make sure you keep getting back up, because that's a very similar energy to the saddle. Just get back in the saddle, keep trying again until you move forward. And then make sure that you're like talking to loved ones as well, because I feel like maybe you tend to isolate yourself when you're in this toxic situation. Maybe a lot of people around you know what this situation has been, and they're kind of maybe you feel like people are sick of hearing about it, or they're like, oh boy, here they go again, they're on again, they're off again. So just make sure that you're finding somebody to talk to, whether that's loved ones around you or like a professional, like a counselor or something, to kind of help you out. But just make sure that you're verbalizing how you're feeling, talking things through, even if you have to talk to yourself or talk to spirit guides or something. But just, I think that you'll get some more insights by talking it out, and even just speaking your feelings out loud rather than kind of bottling them up. And that also is kind of similar to Gemini energy as well, because Geminis are very communicative, talkative. They're very like communication oriented. So yeah, just I think even talking to this new person about what you're feeling, what you're thinking, so that you don't kind of sabotage that situation. I feel like a lot of them are like, don't worry, I'll wait. Like, you're worth it. Like, they want to be with you, and they're willing to wait until you're ready to embark on a new relationship. So maybe right now you're friends, or you're just wanting to kind of embark on a friendship with them to see if it grows into something more, but you're not quite ready for that yet. So just stay open to that, but make sure that you're talking about that and communicating that rather than like just shutting down. Because I feel like when you shut down, that might make you more likely to kind of go back to this toxic relationship, because you're feeling like that person like always takes you back, and you're not feeling like other friends or loved ones do the same for you. So just kind of keep that in mind. That might resonate for some of you. So group 4, I hope that this resonates. Yours was a very unique reading, so I would love to hear if it does, what resonates, what insights you have based on this. So please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this reading, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.